Hey, everybody. Kent Beerley from Pure Focus Studios. 12:30 on a Friday, Eastern Standard Time. It's a beautiful day out, 45 degrees. Took Fiona for a walk. She's outside my office door wondering what the hell I'm doing inside here. But I'm ready to go because of we got a lot of stuff going on, and we have very big special guests next week. We wanted to give time to get ready for that. And I've been getting a lot of questions, not just recently when I asked, but just questions that I've been getting for the past few weeks. So we figured that we would use today as an open discussion. And so an open discussion. Hello, Tina. How are you? As you can see, I'm going to be reading messages. You guys send me messages. If you have questions and you haven't sent them to me already, I have like a whole page of topics that people had sent me. I'm going to try to get to all of them. I have some that I've put down for myself to go over. But also, too, if you have any questions, any topics you want to talk about, anything that, it doesn't necessarily have to be about natural bodybuilding. 3 weeks to go to Columbus. Yes, sir, Johnny. So, as you can see, this is going to be fun. So, I'm excited about it. I do enjoy doing the interviews. I'm working on that. I'm practicing that. But I'm excited today. It's just me and you guys and the wizard. So, here we go. First thing I want to talk about is I don't know if any of you have gotten the coronavirus vaccine, but I did. I got it last Friday. So here I am. I don't get the flu. I don't get the flu vaccine. I hardly ever get sick, really, very rarely. I'm at work every day, whatever, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. If you listen to my fiance, it's 20 hours a day. So I didn't want to get the vaccine. I just figured I'd wait until it's my turn, which would probably be like September sometime. But in New Jersey, it's kind of like an open lottery. It's like they have all these rules about getting that who applies for the vaccine, but yet if you have available appointments, anybody can get them. So somebody, one of my clients who got her whole family vaccine appointment. First of all, I could get it because I'm overweight, according to the height weight charts, 5'6", 200 pounds. I'm a fat, obese person to them. So they got me an appointment. They came in to work. I can get you an appointment for Thursday, they said. I'm like, okay, Thursday. I said, I don't need a vaccine. My fiance yells at me, take the appointment. So I take the appointment. Of course, it snows. They moved it to Friday. I get the shot, didn't even feel it. And the longest period of time I had to wait was 15 minutes after you take your vaccine. So I guess you don't grow another eye, horns, I don't know, another foot. So I leave and then felt fine, went back to work. Later on in the night, I started getting these weird headaches from the back of my head, almost like an alien headache, like something was inside it. The back of my head went up through my eyeball all night long, all night long. Then I go to bed. I had the hot, cold sweats, couldn't sleep. Woke up the next day to go to work like I always do on a Saturday morning to come here at 7 o'clock. I was tired, but I just figured, oh, it's because I had hot and cold, which I figured if that's all I had to get from the vaccine, that'd be fine. So around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I thought like I was beat up. Like somebody, like I had 10 guys beating me up with a baseball bat. I felt awful. So I was out. And I got the Moderna vaccine. So now I'm wondering, I got to take another one in 3 weeks, which is the day before we go down to Columbus, Georgia for our first show. I have to get it the day. So who the hell knows? People say, well, the second one's not as bad as the first. First one is third one. Third one. The second one sometimes can be worse. So I don't know. So that was my experience with the vaccine. Of course, my kids are happy I got it. I guess because them I'm old. I mean, to me, I don't think I'm old. My fiance is relieved. She's got her second shot. Of course, she basically got nothing from it, but she got the Pfizer one. So that's my experience with the vaccine. If anybody else has gone through that, I was really surprised that I felt as bad as I did. And I got to go through it again. So I guess we'll have a recap of that. We'll get a recap of that in after our first show March 20th when we go down to Columbus, Georgia. All right. So my next announcement, another topic that's not natural bodybuilding, is the mask. Owning a gym in New Jersey is rough to begin with, let alone it's just hard. A lot of people in New Jersey just feel like they can just do whatever they want and they don't care. They don't follow rules. So, I mean, I guess that could be anywhere, really. So, yeah, in New Jersey, you have to wear a mask in the gym. You have to wear it. Now, do I believe in a mask? I don't know. I'm not going to, like I said before, politicize it. If Governor Murphy says that we have to wear masks to be open and I don't have to be fined and I don't have to have people calling the police on me, then we wear a mask and we wear a mask because I guess we do what we're told just to stay open. It's kind of like, okay, I don't want to draw attention. It's bad enough that I had enough attention drawn to me while we were supposed to be closed. So we wear, so then we wear masks. We have people that come in, they don't want to wear masks, they wear them down around. Here, I'll give you a little demonstration. People that wear them they wear them like this. They wear them like this. They wear them, I don't know, like this. I don't know what that is. So they wear that, and we have to go around and tell them to wear their mask. So we have two kids that come in last night, and they're like, I'm not wearing a mask. To my 18-year-old employee, I'm not here. And I'm not wearing a mask. You tell Kent I'm not wearing a mask. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you that you have to wear a mask. I'm going to email you, and I'm going to say if you don't wear a mask, you're going to be thrown out of the gym. That's just the bottom line. I don't need your $20 or $25 a month that bad that I'm going to jeopardize my business. And if it makes one of my members feel safer that everybody is wearing a mask in the gym, then it's worth it to me. Two people that think that they don't have to follow the rules that I dictate aren't worth it to me. So just be prepared. I doubt you're listening to this, but you'll hear from me later. So that's the mask thing. I know it's an issue all over the place. I know there's states that don't wear masks. I mean, but New Jersey got hit pretty hard the first time. So the second time around, we're cleaning up pretty good. We're opening up places. We're starting to let people outside. Yeah, it seems funny, right? We're allowed to go outside. We're starting to get people into arenas, starting to be able to do things. Our shows. I was on the phone 2 days ago with the production manager for where our nationals is going to be, and then our King Classic and Masters Nationals, and he's like expecting to be up to 75% capacity by the time that show goes on. So things are moving in a great direction. So I'm talking about, before I get into your things, I want to talk about one more thing. The March 20th is the first show for the AMBF. Now, I try not to make this all about AMBF, but it is my show and it is my banner back there. So I'm going to talk about AMBF. I'll talk about other stuff too. That's our first show. That was the show. I was actually leaving my office last year, the Friday, heading to the airport to get on a plane to go to Columbus, Georgia. We're flying to Atlanta, then we drive. I see that somebody calls me from down there. I listen to the message. She says I have to call her back. I call her back. She tells me we're having it at a big YMCA down there. Their national office has closed their venues to all outside events. I'm like, well, you can't pretend you didn't get this phone call and just start that on Sunday. She says, no, it starts tomorrow. So we had to cancel our event. We had the whole event, the whole weekend planned. We were going to visit 4 different gyms. We were having a great show. And then we were actually going to the NASCAR race on Sunday. So what do? I do it all over again. So we are going March 20th for the AMBF Warrior Classic Pro Master Challenge. We got a lot of Pro Masters in the show. There's a lot of shit talking going on by some of these guys. So we'll see who walks out of there with first place trophies. But I'm very excited to get going. We haven't done a thing in a year. So I'm pumped to get down there. I love going, as everybody knows, I love going down to the South. I'm very excited. Team Hard Rock, they say they're invading Columbus. So that's what Johnny just said. So anybody that's coming, you better be ready for Team Hard Rock because I think they're playing for keeps. I think they're buying dinner too. So So but the exciting thing about going to Columbus, Georgia, is we do get to go to the car race the next day. They are having fans, so I will be sitting outside with my buddies. I'm actually dragging two of my friends with me just to go to the car race, but I'm putting in the work at the show. So they didn't really know about the show part, so I don't know if they're watching this, but they are going to be working the show. So we're very excited to get the year started. We have a nice Pro Master show put together. We got a lot of amateur competitors ready to go, all fired up. So I'm real excited about that. So I want to get to the first. Also, the Wizard has informed me that show is going to be live streamed. That is the first official live stream through Subculture. Look at that. That's pretty fancy. Yeah, she's gonna Sam Natoli Feenberg. Oh, I'm saying your old name. I'm all confused. Samantha Feenberg. She's put together quite an impressive live streaming business. She's traveling all over the country. I'm lucky enough to get her to come to our show March 20th. Go on the AMBF Facebook page. You can see what she's doing. She's got a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be awesome. She has a special going on. So she's got more toys than you can imagine. I wouldn't even know what to do with half these things. So she'll be there. She'll be doing interviews. So that's going to be fun. I'm excited that she's chosen our show to be the first one of the year to get down there and to show her stuff. So you guys check it out. Go to the AMBF Facebook page. You can see the her information, and then we'll get rolling with that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you practice speaking in front of a microphone because it's not as easy as it looks. All right. Some people a person had asked me about progressive overload. So I'm not a person, I'm old school terms and initials and stuff like that. I'm not. Progressive overload is really the theory of how you get stronger and how you get your muscles to grow. A lot of people, you'll see a lot of people come into the gym and then they'll do the same thing over and over again, and they'll try to do their 1 rep max every time you work out. Progressive overload is each workout where you're constantly putting more pressure on your body. Hello? Am I back? Hello? My fucking headphones are working. Hear me? Hello? All right, I'm back. I guess I don't need my headphones. Modern technology. All right, here we go. Progressive overload. Really, the bottom line is when you're working out, you need to have a plan. Can't hear me? Don't need earbuds. Go. All right, I'm going. All right. Whatever you're doing, progressive overload, undulating, all this stuff, you need to have a plan. You just can't go into a gym and just continually think you're going to get stronger, because initially you will. If you don't work out on a regular basis and you go back into a gym, you're going to get stronger. So you need to have a plan. You need to have something set up where you know what you're doing. So it's best to get a book. It's best to have a plan. It's best to do, like, percentages work a lot. But you just don't want to go in the gym and just like, oh, I'm just going to go overload. I'm going to do this, going to do that, because it doesn't always work. I mean, you just can't willy-nilly it. Yeah, you got to know if you're going to be doing a rep range of 8 to 10, then you got to do that. If rep range of 10, 8, 6, 4, you shoot for that. And when you hit that, then you go up in weight. You can't necessarily, it's not really effective to try to go up in weight every time, because it's just not possible, number one. And number two, it'll give you false results. You'll think you're getting stronger, but what you're really doing, you're just getting back to what your body capacity was before that. So that's the problem with you're getting stronger, but you're getting back to where you were. So if a day you come into the gym, okay, I got to do 10 reps of 225, I'm supposed to do 8 reps of 245, and then 6 reps of 275, and then you miss that mark, then you come back the next week and you do the same thing. You try to hit those numbers. So always have a plan. And sometimes, you might get into the gym and you might feel great. You might be like, I'm going to do 10, 8, 6, but then the first set, for some reason, 10 was real easy. So then you might feel like it's really, real easy. See if my earbuds work. They're not working. So the best thing to do, I mean, again, I go by feel a lot, but I do follow a plan, whether it's percentages, whether it's rep ranges. You find what works for you, and then you go forward with it. So you go forward with it, and it's kind of like Nikki gave me that question. It's hard for me to tell you what works for you, because I'm not you. What works for you may not work for me. It might work for me, but it may not work for Joe down the road, and stuff like that. So the best is to have a plan. Don't go into the gym and just throw weights around and then get frustrated when you're not getting stronger. And remember, when you first come back from a layoff, you're going to get stronger every workout. So it's not like you're getting stronger, you're getting back to where you were, which is then the work starts. I mean, did I make that clear? I know it's kind of confusing. But... All right, here we go. Next question. Team AMBF. Joe Lacero wants to know about Team AMBF for Mr. America. We are doing that. We're also having a drawing at every one of the shows we have this year before the Mr. America, and we'll be giving out free entries to the Mr. America contest, which is in October, to any new pro card winners. So it's your chance to be able to go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and compete in the Mr. America, which I was there last year, and it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. It really was. It really was a special time being there. For me, being older, the Mr. America means a lot more to me than it may some younger person that doesn't really know the history of the sport. But it was a good time. So the team AMBF is something that I'm going to select people that obviously making a team, we would like to be competitive, but it's not really all about being competitive. We want to give people the opportunity to go there and have a good time, and then be able to get on the grand stage and represent the AMBF. So we got two things going on. We're giving out free entry to the Mr. America in a drawing at every show. Well, you'll be entered in a drawing, and then we're going to have Team AMBF, and we'll have nice, cool little suits. So we can. I guess, Joe, you want to be on that Team AMBF, considering you're the reigning Classic Physique Pro. So we'll see about that. That'd be pretty awesome. Somebody wanted to know any more shows for the AMBF. To be honest, this year it's kind of given us the opportunity. It's hard to schedule shows, especially up in the Northeast. A lot of the schools don't want the outside problem. They don't want to have. It's hard enough keeping an rein on the virus themselves. So it's forced me and the people that help me schedule shows. It's helped. It's forced us to be more diligent with where we put shows. We just didn't take our schedule and plop it out there like last year's schedule and go ahead with this year's schedule, because to me that wasn't right. Number one, we use a lot of schools, and we not all the time, but we use a lot of schools, and the schools just don't want people in there, the outside problem. So we're using venue halls. We're using like in Asbury Park, the House of Independence, which is a concert hall. They do other events there, so we're excited about that. It's actually right on. It's really very excited about the whole Asbury Park thing. But it's also made us think about, do we need to have? Maybe we should scale back. Do we need to have shows? I mean, it's different now. When I started, somebody also asked a question about how do we pick where we put shows, which is funny because the situation happened this week that is related to that. So we kind of went and we kind of looked at where we were when we started and where we had shows and where it's like now. So I'm trying the earbuds again. Hello? This one worked. Hello? You can hear me now? All right. So we put shows in places before there was nothing, and then now there is something. People come, like Roanoke, Virginia. We were the only one there. Now there's other organizations inside, and they use the same venue. We had shows in Morehead City, and then right up the road in Greenville, North Carolina, there's another. These are areas that really can't handle, like, one show is good. One show is good, maybe two, but not three, not four. We scheduled. So I've looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to put a show there this year because there's other shows there now. We're not the only game in town anymore. So I don't want to be part of the problem. I don't want to have to, just because I was there, other people come. I mean, for example, I'll bring it up, and I will admit that I made a mistake, but I scheduled a show for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's for May 8th. I had talked about it back in November, and then we basically had it set in November, maybe even sooner. And when I looked at the schedules for all the organizations, there were no shows there. Now, I guess mistakenly, I looked at schedules that were already adjusted based on based on the coronavirus and shows they canceled. So it was brought to my attention that there was an organization that had a show there. That's AMBF. Now, it's a good organization. They run good shows. But when I looked on their schedule, it wasn't there because obviously they took it off the schedule. But I did look at the OCB, WMBF, all these the other organizations, the USBF. They didn't have a schedule. They didn't have a show there. So I thought we were the only game in town, and I figured I liked how they were handling the virus. I thought it was the state was doing a good job, so that's why I picked the show there. So we had a show scheduled for May 8th, and then all of a sudden there's another show. They then, like a month ago or a month and a half ago, whenever it was, 2 months ago, another organization plops a show there in September. Our show is May. But then just a couple of days ago, I see that another organization plopped a show in there 2 weeks after ours. Now, to me, no, that's four shows in one town. It's Sioux Falls. It's not like it's New York City. It's not like it's a great city. And I was excited to go, but I'm not going to be part of the problem. I'm not going to go to a place and have four shows and have to. I mean, really, how does that affect anybody? I don't know why anybody would want to put it. There's already two shows, unbeknownst to me. I was the second show, but that's probably all that town can handle. But now there's two other shows. So I watch Shark Tank a lot. So here's my announcement. For those reasons, I'm out. The AMBF will not be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm sorry to say that. I will look elsewhere at other locations. I'll find somewhere else to have a show, and we'll just see how long it takes until somebody else shows up. Because it's only a matter of time until a certain organization follows us, or that's just, I mean, I don't know. I find locations on my own. So how do I find a location? First of all, I go to a location that I think is a cool place to have a show. Doesn't necessarily mean it's very populated. I have shows that aren't very populated. I mean, areas that aren't very populated, but we get a good turnout because people want to go there. We have a show in Morehead City, North Carolina. Not a very populated area, but people like to go there because they get to go to where? They get to go to the beach. We have a show in Lenore, North Carolina, which is in the mountains in North Carolina. Not very populated, but people go there because it's a cool place and it's not far from Charlotte. We get a great we get a nice turnout at that show there. So we do things like that. I don't look to see who has a show where. Let's have a show there. Oh, there's three organizations have a show there. Let's go there and put a show there. That's not how I do it. It's not how I've ever done it. We have a show in Key West. Nobody's tried to do that yet. I'm surprised. But I have a show in Key West because I think people would enjoy going to Key West. It's a great venue for a show. We have shows in Texas and Killeen, which is a powerlifting powerhouse area, but nobody has yet still come. I love that Key West show too. It's a great way to end the year. People come from all over. But we have a show in Killeen. We had a show in Dallas area, but very hard to get venue. Well, we used the school. It's very hard to get a venue there. But there's also like 1,000. When we first went to Texas, probably 6-7 years ago, there was like 2 organizations. Now it seems like there's like 6 or 7. It's just overrun with bodybuilding. It used to be the least populated for bodybuilding shows. Now it's probably has more organizations in one state than any other place. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like you got all these organizations. Well, there is something wrong with it. You got all these organizations fighting over the same people in the same state, and I don't need to do that. So I'll back out of certain areas that I feel are an issue. But it's definitely you have to be more. It's forced the AMBF to become more creative. I'm fine we'll probably end up with 15 shows this year, and I'm fine with that because then we can see what works and we can grow with it. And we want to put up product. It's all about the product you can put on the stage. I want to put a good product on stage. I don't just want to slap things together. I really don't want to have people wearing masks on stage. I've seen that in some shows, and I don't want to have people standing. I want to have a show that people can enjoy. That's why I was very careful with how we picked shows. So that's the answer to that. We do have a guy, Donald wanted to know how to get into the bodybuilding scene for beginners. Really the best thing you do, and I can remember when I was a kid, I got in a car. My mom drove me and 4 of my buddies to a show in Connecticut years ago. I think I was 13 or 14 years old. I wanted to see a show for myself. And then they had this guy, Cal Scalak. who was the biggest person I've ever seen in person. So then I was hooked. I mean, that's really all that got me. I went back to the gym, which was my basement, and we started working out like maniacs. We wanted to go back. We saw a show and we wanted to do it. So really, it's the best thing to do is go to a show. Oh, Fiona is barking. You guys hear her? So you go to a show and see how it goes. See if you can get backstage, sit in the audience, sit by the judges, just get a feel for it. That's really the main thing. See if you could do it. Some people can't get up on stage and do it. Then the other thing is too is it just seems like now, I don't know if you necessarily need a coach, but become friends with somebody at the gym that maybe you guys could work out together. Maybe they can help you. See, befriend somebody and then have them help you. You don't necessarily need to pay all this money to have. You don't. Sorry, coaches out there, but you don't have to have a coach to do a bodybuilding show if you feel like you could do it yourself. Just go out there, learn the trade, watch people in the gym, ask questions, but don't be a pain in the ass. Nobody likes pain in the ass though either. So just kind of like watch and listen, and then go on different organizations' websites and see what the rules are. Know the rules, know the poses, buy some magazines. There's really not many magazines around anymore, but go online. There used to be, I used to buy muscle, before it was Muscle and Fitness, it was Muscle Power and Builder or something like that. I used to buy all the magazines and I used to roll them up and hide them because I didn't want people to see that I was buying bodybuilding magazines, which I don't know why. It just seemed stupid, but I had all these magazines. I had stacks of them. I probably still have. I'm sure my mother threw them away by now. But just learn. Just become friendly with people in the gym. Just ask. Just watch them. But don't be a pain in the ass because then they'll blame me for it. All right, I want to talk about. Somebody want to talk about Polygraph. My feelings on the Polygraph are obviously very well known because the AMBF no longer does Polygraph. We've had people, and so have other organizations, pass the Polygraph but fail the urine. So it's like, well, how good is your Polygraph if it's not effective? I'm in the dark. Why didn't anybody tell me? Where's my light switch? Hold on. Oh, look at that. So the Polygraph, I don't know. A 5-10 minute Polygraph to me is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Again, if you pass a Polygraph, if you're the kind of person that's going to be using steroids in a natural bodybuilding contest, then you're going to pass a Polygraph test because you're a criminal. Your caliber of you're a bad person. I can't think of it. You're just a bad person. So we decided after many years of people passing polys and failing the urine test. There was a situation a couple years ago where a guy passed a test and failed at other organizations, and been passed another organization, passed his own organization, but then failed another test. So they just exposed at how bad the Polygraph, how bad of a job it does it may eliminate the honest crook, but it doesn't eliminate the crook that just doesn't care. The person, the bad people. It may eliminate some of the bad people, but it's not going to eliminate the really bad people because they don't care. They don't give a crap. And if you're giving out money, then to them it's worth it. So then we decided to go more urine. And we looked at our urine tests, and we were pretty standard with some of the other organizations that say they have great drug testing. But when I looked at it, I realized that our drug testing really wasn't so good. It was minimal. Not testing everything that these organizations said they were doing. It was certain things, it wasn't being tested. So then we went and we spoke to other organizations, and we found the drug tests they were doing, and it was so much better than ours, so much bigger than ours, but yet it was more expensive. So we eliminated the Polygraph test, rearranged some things, and we do the urine test, but we do more urine tests, not just one or two. We urine test a very high percentage of the people in the show. So we're spending more money. We're saving, the AMBF is saving you money because we're not making you pay $50 to a Polygraph tech when the cash goes in his pocket and you never see him again. And so that's that. So the Polygraph to us is not an effective tool for drug testing. It's an expense on a competitor that you don't need. And we pay your urine testing, and most organizations pay urine. Some do charge you a urine testing fee, which I'm not really 100% on board with that. I don't think that that's really right either. There's other ways of generating the money to pay for the urine test, but so we do more. But there's also another organization decided they were going to let you know if somebody failed a polygraph test. So I was excited when I read that. I'm like, finally, they're going to be accountable for their polygraph test. But then when I read further, it says that they will not release the name. So now what happens with he or she shows up at another show? What? So that life doesn't happen. It's like he's in the witness protection program or something where nobody knows about the lie. That's right. Lie. So nobody knows about him failing the polygraph test, them or he or she. So I don't get it. He could show up if you're trying to work together with other organizations and you know a name of a person that failed the polygraph test, maybe a little heads up would be, I think would be fair. Now, again, there's legal things about it, but if you're not letting him compete because you're saying that they failed a polygraph test, then that should be known to other organizations, I would think. So yeah, congratulations on announcing that you have a failed polygraph test, because that's never been done before by this organization. But bad that you're not going to share the name of the person with other organizations. I don't care what your legal reasons are. You're not letting him compete in your show. So then that person should not be allowed to compete in other shows, including yours. But are you going to not let them compete in a show a month later? When he goes to do a show, say he failed. Well, this person failed. I think it was Pittsburgh is where they failed. Now, say he shows up in California to do a show. Are you going to let them know? I mean, are you going to let your organization know out there? Or is it just kind of like, don't ask, don't tell? See, there's a lot of open questions. That's like a movie that you're ready to tell the ending, but then you're like, psych, we're not telling you the ending. So good that you're announcing it, but bad that you're not following through on it. Powerlifting meet. Well, as you know, I am doing a powerlifting meet. I think I go July 10th. So July 10th, that's not me, but that guy's pretty jacked. That's a lot of weight on there too. So July 10th, I'll be lifting 183-pound class. So it's 83 kilogram class. My training is going well. It is interesting when you try to combine the two types of training. Like, for example, I had to bench today. So I actually did my bench workout, but when I'm done with this vodcast, I'm going to finish the rest of my chest workout for bodybuilding. So it is, I mean, luckily I work at it. I own a gym, so I have the time to do it. But if I didn't work at a gym, I still would. It only increases my workout by a little bit, because you do your main movement, and then I move on to the other. I'm trying to think of the word accessory. That's right, accessory. My accessory movements. So that's going well for that. Bodybuilding, I still have not chosen a show. My options are limited. I'm still trying to figure out in my head if I should go the natural shows or the NPC shows. Sometimes something just makes me feel like I want to take myself out of the natural arena and use I wouldn't say my celebrity, because obviously I'm not a celebrity, but use my, I don't know, whatever. Be the natural guy that shows up at a national show and beats them. There's something about that I really enjoy. The shows are gigantic. It's not the greatest experience, but it's almost, I go as a spectator as well as a competitor, because it's a cool thing to be around. I mean, these guys, obviously they're all enhanced, so it's definitely a different environment, but it's a fun. For me, it's fun. For me, it's very challenging, and for me to win, which I don't go, if I wasn't going to win, I wouldn't do it, because it really serves no purpose. Wow, he's naturally came in 8th. Oh, he's naturally came in 3rd or in 6th. Oh, he's naturally got 15th. I go to win my class. So unless I win, or I guess I could take second, I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm natural and I beat all these guys. You know, the Masters National is just a tough show. North American's a tough show. All the Masters, these Masters are no joke. But all right, let's see. Tony's got a question. Where's Tony? How does or should a competitor decide between classic physique and bodybuilding? Well, bodybuilding, if you can do classic physique, then you should do bodybuilding. How's that for an answer? There's a lot of guys that do physique that should do bodybuilding. I mean, some guys are afraid to put on the small little trunks. I have to admit, when I put them on for the first time, it's like, damn, I got to wear these things. And then after a while, you're all hanging out like you're at the club wearing these little posing trunks. Who cares? Once you put your tan on, it doesn't matter. But to me, bodybuilding is bodybuilding. Bodybuilding will always be first at our shows because it's what started it all. I mean, I'm back in the day where it was a lot of people pose like classic physique now does. Classic physique is neat, but you'll see it in the NPC. It's all the same guys. So like if you limited it and you made people make a choice, I'd be curious as to see, because they're all just as lean. Because now they even have the smaller trunks. So they originally came out with the larger trunks, so you didn't have to worry about striated glutes. But now the trunks, they're like booty shorts. You guys are all on stage wearing booty shorts, so you got to make sure that your butt is striated. And so really not much different. There really isn't much difference between the level of leanness. And to be honest, some of the physique guys are just as lean as the bodybuilders. So, and then you're going to tell a judge that, okay, this guy's leaner than that guy, and that guy's not leaner. It's kind of like, you need to make it where I would go bodybuilding. I don't even know how you would decide. It's what you're comfortable with. You could pose in bodybuilding you can pose like a classic bodybuilder, physique. Some organizations call it classic bodybuilding. I mean, it gets a little crazy. I mean, also too, remember, it comes down to the old money in the cash box. That's why they let you do more than one thing. But yeah, they're the same. Like, I mean, Tony, I've seen you. You look great. You have a class. I mean, you have an ideal bodybuilding physique. You did our online thing we did. I mean, you have the physique to do bodybuilding. So do it. I mean, as long as you're allowed to do both, do both. I mean, that's just what I would say. Okay, back to my training's going good. Back to me picking a show. I'm leaning towards a show in September. I'm still thinking about the North Americans, the NPC North Americans. I haven't gone either way. Nobody's convinced me one way or the other. I feel like I could do more good for natural bodybuilding by doing those shows than not. And I feel in my head, I feel better doing what I want to do and not listening to what people tell me that I should do, because I mean, my options in natural bodybuilding are limited. I can't do our shows, can't do AMBF shows. Obviously, there's certain organizations that I won't do because I refuse to support them, and then there's others that I will do, but their schedules just don't work out with mine. So I have not decided yet. So, all right, we got a couple. We're almost done here. Now, anybody else? Is there going to be a wellness category? I will. A wellness category. Oh my goodness. I'm not ready to have a wellness category. I don't know. I love, to me, a wellness competitor is more of I mean, again, if you're going to have that much muscle, then diet a little bit more and be a physique competitor. That, to me, I'd love to see a lot of those wellness women get on the classic physique, not classic physique, women's physique. If you don't want to do figure, if you want to get out there and do more, then yeah, I would. I don't know. There's a lot of women out there that definitely aren't. They're too big for bikini. They have a lot of shape. So, I mean, it'd be nice if we could bring back female bodybuilding again. But the physique is a place where I think a lot of these wellness women would look awesome in. But then again, you got to diet. You got to work harder you got to get your body fat levels down. All right. If you do a show in September, how far out would you? We want me to give all my secrets away, Tony. If you do a show in September, how far out would you start actual show prep? Is there a goal stage weight you are shooting for? Well, depending on the show, Tony. To be honest, if you're doing an NPC show, for example, the bantamweight. I mean, not bantam. Yeah, bantamweight. The welterweight classes, which is what I do, you have to be 165 pounds. So I will guarantee you, one way. I don't care what it takes. I'll be 165 pounds for weigh-in. I don't care if that means we talked about team AMBF. You're too late, Joe. Go back to sleep. Um, the I'd be 165 pounds. I don't care if it means I don't eat for 2 days. They weigh in the day before. I would lock myself in a room and just eat after weigh-in until I weigh about 175 pounds. It's different when you have a weight class to make, especially if you have time to eat up. I mean, some guys gain 15, 20 pounds between their weigh-ins and going on stage. That's what's so deceiving. I would not. Figure would be that would be my other choice, Tina. If you don't want to get up and flex, you want to wear heels, then figure would be. I mean, I like figure. Figure is a good class. It seems to get overwhelmed by bikini lately, but I do like figure. Sometimes the bikini can get a little overwhelming. So now, Tony, back to your point. If it is a say a regular show where they just kind of like, which drives me crazy, they just take the amount of competitors and they just cut it in half, which to me is crazy. If you don't know where you're going to be, you want to be as lean as you can. Obviously, when you don't eat to make weight, you're definitely affecting your body. You're definitely affecting how you look. But when you have time to eat, then you're able to eat back up. And so, yeah, it's not something I recommend. It's not something I would do for a natural show, because if you don't have to make a weight, a lot the natural pros, they really kind of just split you up. So you don't really know where that number is. So really, you just want to be as lean. You want to be as lean as possible, and you want to be as full as possible, and you want to make sure that your skin is thin and you're jacked. Generally, to answer your question, I would take, like, if I'm going to do a show in September, I would start now, 6 months. The old days, I could be ready in 3-4 weeks, but that's because I wasn't 200 pounds. I was always reasonably close to my body weight. I was always like between 180, 185, 190 at the most. But didn't have I have more muscle now. So it's a whole, but I would give it 6 months. I like to go slow, take my time. If anything happens, any life things happen, it doesn't really affect your overall progress. Jack, the only reason the NPC made Classic Physique was open bodybuilding was getting out of hand with GH cuts. I don't know. No, the real reason why they made it, well, first of all, brings in money, number one. Number two, you may be right about the GH guts, but now they have them still. But a lot of the same people, they just don't want to do as much drugs is probably the real reason. And how did I meet my fiance? Well, to be honest, Jack, my fiance was her. I trained her mother for almost 10 years here at Pure Focus, and she started coming also. So that's how. No more personal questions, Jack, please. But that's how I met my fiance, at the gym, at Pure Focus. It's a place of love. All right, what's it like to run the AMBF? Now, let me tell you, I love doing what I'm doing. And to make no money from it, you must know that I love what I'm doing. I love pulling into towns, and circus is there. I I love that. What show was that at? That was I love doing my selfies at the end of the shows. It's after we're all done and everybody's, well, actually it's not all done. It's right before the awards. So everybody's happy. They're not pissed yet. Or it could be after the awards. I try to do it before the awards because you always find the people that don't get placing they want, they're not in the picture. And I go through it and I find out who they are. But they're a lot of fun. I started doing those selfies a couple of years ago, so it is a lot of fun. But I really love meeting all the people. I love making friends with people. All the people I've connected with over the years from the shows. I've been promoting shows here in New Jersey for 13 years. And AMBF last year would have been our 8th, so it's our 9th year, almost our 10-year anniversary. We may not have grown as much as I would have liked, but I do believe that we did a lot of what I set out to do. When I started the AMBF, I said I wanted to make the sport better. We started different things, straight through formats, which a lot of people use now. They still don't really necessarily do it right, but a lot of people do the straight through formats. They've gone the way of getting MCs that are more entertaining. They've improved their judging. The drug testing has become more of a to make sure it gets done. I mean, some organizations were great when we started, but there was a lot that were awful. My last show was a disaster when it came to drug testing at years ago, which was my final straw. I can't say the awards. I sometimes feel like people go overboard on awards, but it's just we wanted to make the shows more entertaining. We wanted to make it where the family enjoyed the shows, and we'll keep doing that. And now with this live streaming that Sam has come out with, I think that's a great thing because if you can't go to the show, you can watch it. So, and you don't have to like sit there and watch the whole thing. You can watch who you want to watch. I just think the sport's evolved over the 12 or the 8 years that AMBF has been around, and I feel like we've played a role in that because it seems like everybody wants to copy the things that we do and they want to go to the areas that we go to. So I'll take credit for that. But there's still a lot of work to be done as far as with the AMBF. I do want to just keep going. I just want to make it an option for people to know they can come have a good time. We do have fun. And it's good that I can give back to the sport that I've really been doing since I was 17 years old. It's a big part of my life. It's a big part of my gym. I love training people. I love doing posing classes. So what's it like to run the AMBF? It's a lot of fun. And believe me, I can deal with all the political crap because I got very hard head. I can fight with anybody. And if I don't agree with what you're doing, I'm going to let you know. And the honesty to me is probably the most important thing. And there are people in this sport that really aren't very honest, and the sport would probably be better off without them. But that's okay. Somebody wanted to know. Guys, get me fired up. I can go on forever on that one. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's things. Do you think bodybuilding could ever be an Olympic sport like Ben Weider wanted it to be? Not. First of all, the Olympic sport, it would have to be natural. That's kind of like what the Mr. America. I know there's been talk of Mr. America trying to get involved. The IFBB Physique America says they want to go to the Olympics. The PNBA said they want to go to the Olympics. To be honest, I don't think so because as of now, I just think that there's too many issues and too many problems with natural bodybuilding that I don't think the Olympics don't want to deal with it. Unless you could go to the Olympics and guarantee that whatever organization has got their shit together, that why would they want natural bodybuilding? It's just a headache. So I would say, unfortunately, not in my lifetime, Jack. How's that? And there's still some years left to me. I would like to see it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to be part of it. I'd love to be in an organization that can go do that. But I really think there's just too much involved. There's too many problems now. And why add a problem when the Olympics has got enough problems as it is anyway? So why add another problem? So I would say no, it will not in my lifetime. Who gave me the nickname the King? My buddy Mike Halsey started that probably around 11, 12 years ago when I used to win his show and other shows. And by the way, the USBF, right? I'm going to cut this up off. The USBF been around. I want to ask them if they know who's won more USBF shows than anybody else. Or I should say pro shows. Who's won more USBF pro shows than anybody else? It's a question. Your homework. Just throwing that out there. Mike Halsey gave me the name the King. Mike Halsey, my good buddy. Don't talk to Mike much anymore. I haven't been up there to judge any of his shows. I haven't been up to judge any of his shows lately. It seems like my schedules and their schedules don't mix. I try to steal him. I'll be openly honest. I try to steal him to promote for the AMBF, and Mike would not do it. He won't do it. But Mike, if you're ever ready to come promote for the AMBF, you got enough shows, you can give me one of them. But he gave me the nickname the King, and I really, at first I was embarrassed by it, but I like it, and I actually like it so much I put it on it's on my forearm. Where's my arm? There it is, King. So it's a reminder to me to look down at my forearm and say, yeah, you are still the King. So Mike, I appreciate it. I do have a pet peeve. I'm done with my questions. If you guys are done with your questions, it's been almost an hour. Sorry about the disruption with my headphones. I have a pet peeve. This is out to all these promoters, all the promoters out there. When somebody puts a post, someone makes a post about something, a promoter makes a post or another organization makes a post, and you post on top of it, you're promoting your thing on another promoter's post or something. That's just make your own post. Don't take advantage of somebody else's celebrity, somebody else's followers. If they have 10,000 followers or something and you're posting on their post, do your own post. Do your own work. Do your own marketing. Don't hijack people's threads. I hate that. I can't stand, because when I see that, it makes me want to. I mean, I what made me think of that is that somebody posted about something. One of the competitors from New York, and he was talking about hopefully the shows will be going on in New York, New Jersey, and I posted that. Yeah, we have a show May 15th, the Nationals in Asbury Park. It'll be exciting. And I'm like, well, I said, wait, he's not a promoter, right? I had to check to see. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't a promoter. He was just speaking about shows being open because I didn't want to be what I don't like. So I was happy to see that I was okay with that. But yeah, if promote your own stuff, do your own work, do your own homework. Don't hijack people's threads. That's my pet peeve of the week. So I think I've hit everything. I had a good time talking. It's always good to just ramble on. Talked about the bodybuilding scene for beginners, polygraph, how to side show. Okay, yeah. If you guys don't have anything else, let me just make sure. This was a lot of fun. So remember, check out that live stream for the March 20th, the AMBF Warrior Classic in Columbus and the Pro Master Challenge. And then check out Subculture for that live feed because it's pretty cool, and she's got a whole mess of toys that she can. And I think I'm going to be mic'd, so you get to hear me. I hope there's a 5-second delay because I don't always say the right things. Got to have that 5-second delay button. So if you guys don't have anything else to say or any questions, let me look. Hold on. Nope, no more. Last is Tina. All right, so thanks for spending your Friday afternoon with me. We will be on next week, I believe 2 o'clock Friday, with 2 very special guests. I guess I can announce them now. We're going to have Skip and Tangela Gillen, the parents of Sid Gillen. So maybe we might have Sid Gillen. But I don't know. She's a busy girl. But they promote for us down in Atlanta. They're 2 very good friends of mine. I'm so happy that they're part of the AMBF. They have a lot of stuff to tell. If Sid's not on, I'm sure we'll get some pictures of her and we'll have a lot of talk. We'll talk about their show in Atlanta that they're still working on. Again, the same issues down there as up here. They're working on a venue to get a place that'll let them come in. They're looking for the summertime. They're really good friends of mine, and I'm excited to have them on. I didn't want to rush them on this week. So they have a great show. Again, I love going to the South. So Atlanta is a great time. It's very hot in the summertime, but they'll be on next week. I believe it's 2 o'clock, so check that out. And everybody, you have a great weekend. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And if you have any follow-up questions, just put them Put them underneath the. I'll be watching his back to catch what I missed. Come on, Joe. Get with it. I'm glad you made it, Joe. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. You have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next Friday. Thank you. Bye now.